Oh, here we go. You solely are spawning grounds. The Lord of the Whirl. Get in there, tank. Okay, I thought it'd be easy to find Limit Break. That's why I didn't click it, but apparently it's not as easy as I thought. It's in general? Huh. Boom! Holy crap. And did some damage. Glad I saved it. He summoned some boys, but they took too long to get over here. Just kill the boss, he's almost dead. Ads? What ads? So, do you have any control over your NPCs, by the way? I'm guessing you don't, but I'm curious. No, I figured not. Well, I got some knives! And I can't even use them! I need to get some knuckles. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Is that it? The boys are just chilling. That was fun. Time to go back to Rogue. So not sure if any of you have heard about what the CEO of Take-Two Interactive said. Someone in my chat had said that he had watched an interview where a question was asked about pricing of games for the future. He proposed that people should pay at least $150 for a game or rent the game for $5 an hour. Sounds good. Can't wait. Can't wait for the future of gaming. Gotta go all the way back to Limsa now. Can I take a boat? Did you hear, who was the guy that said, who is the CEO that said that people should pay per reload? I forget which company that was. Some CEO of some company said, gamer, we should set up a thing where Unity, yeah, oh yeah, that was the same guy that came up with the Unity thing that screwed Unity over and then he got fired. Yeah, the same guy that came up with the thing that Unity was going to make all the developers pay per install. that same guy was quoted saying that we should make gamers of FPS games pay per reload because that's when they're most likely to pay because they don't want to die. Like, the idea was people won't worry about their finances when they're in danger. So if they're gonna die because they can't reload, they'll be more likely to pay money at that moment. So, like, not only was it a dumb idea, but it was like, even the general idea of it was like, he wants to screw over people. Like that's it's pretty wild. Like, saying that games should be $150 is already, like, insane. Quantum, they give it the 64 months. Like, saying video games should be $150 is insane, but at least you can make the argument, like, he thinks that they're worth that much, or he thinks that companies will put more effort into the games if they're worth that, or whatever. Like, there's an argument at least to be made. It's still awful, but, like, there's at least an argument. But, like, this guy's literally trying to just, like, take advantage of people. Like, the whole mentality is just, like, let's take advantage of people. Like, those are the types of people that cannot be in the industry. If you just have bad ideas, that's one thing. But when you're legitimately trying to take advantage of people, like, that's your whole mentality going in, is like, let's just screw people over as much as possible. Yikes. That's the kind of thing that kills the industry. It's pretty wild. I mean, some people get into the gaming industry specifically for that reason. They tried to start a casino and failed, and they're like, well, time to try the gaming industry. Like, they're legitimately just here to try to take people's money, and they don't care at all about the industry. And honestly, there's plenty of industries like that, but gaming has too much personality and heart in its history that can't do that. Gaming comes from a place where people are actually passionate about the art, which is why that kind of stuff fails so miserably. Because you can go into a casino and see games that are specifically designed to take your money, and you're not really that offended because it's a casino. Like, you're kind of expecting it. But all these CEOs don't realize that gaming comes from a place of artistic value, and there's so much more to it than the money. And they wonder why people are, like, angry. Like, you guys have phones, right? That's not the point. Yeah, it's just like waifu cards. People are passionate about the art. Wait. Wait a second. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild we still have people in the industry like that. It's pretty interesting, like, it's wild the arguments I see about $70 games. People will say stuff like $70 is too much for a game. But when you look at, like, the past games back on the SNES and stuff, they were like that price. And that was before inflation. It's like, we're actually paying less for games now than they were back then. The problem is, we're paying for a game that's a fourth of the way done. We're paying for a game who they released it with other content ready to be released over the course of multiple months and getting us to pay more and more and more. The 70 is only the intro price. The $70 is only the intro price, and that's why people are angry. They don't get, they're like, $70, that's not a lot for a video game. Like, that's not the point. The point is, we're paying $70 for an intro now. Most of the time you have to pay $100 just to get the version of the game that you want. So it's really not $70. Most games are $100. Like, in all fairness, most games are $100. Most games nowadays, to get what you want, to get the content that would normally be in a video game, you have to pay $100. And that's pretty, like, lowballing it. You buy the new Call of Duty game in order to get the DLC, which is basically getting it up to what the old Call of Duty games used to be in terms of, like, map count and stuff. To get the Battle Pass, which has the skins that the old games would have given you for free. To get online, to be able to play online, you're already paying monthly for PlayStation Plus, so we're not even including that cost. You know, etc., etc. You're not getting out for any less than $100. Now, you could pay $70, but you're getting half the game. You're getting a discount version of the game, you know. You're getting... That'd be like... This is the equivalent of buying, like, Super Mario 64, but you only get the first 70 stars, you know? Like, like that's basically what you're paying $70 for. You're paying $100 for the full Super Mario 64. So, like, I think the argument as to whether or not games should be $70 or not is missing the point. We need to get back to games being games first, and then we can talk about what the price should be. Because they're not. I mean, it's all screwed up at this point. Can games just be fun? No. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with, like, I mean, there's been plenty of games I've bought, and this is more of a personal thing now, like, this is my personal opinion, so this is not, you know, you can think what you want. My personal opinion, I've played multiple $70 games that I felt like were worth $70 to me, you know, like, I've played multiple games on day one for $70 where I was like, yeah, that was $70, you know, for sure, so... That's kind of where I'm at. You're totally in your right to disagree with that. When it comes to money, everyone has their own, you know, balance. But for me, if it's a game that's a full game, that I'm not paying for a battle pass or not missing out on a battle pass or not, you know, waiting for DLC or whatever, but just a $70 game, I've played multiple. Now, I will say that almost every time I pay $70 for a game, I feel like I could have bought 2 indie games that I would have gotten more out of. Like, lately, indie games have been so fire. The last, like, 2 years, 3 years, indie games have been so good, and AAA games have been so bad, that I do get a bit of buyer's remorse every time I buy a $70 video game, which, by the way, is very rare anymore. I can't even remember the last game I paid full price for. But I always get buyer's remorse of, like, I could have bought Hollow Knight and Hades and got 200 more hours of content. Better content. I could have gotten a more fun, more content heavy, more replayable experience out of Hades or Hollow Knight than the game I just bought. And I could have bought both of those for cheaper. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard anymore for me to buy a $70 game and be like, yeah, that was worth it. But it's happened. It has happened. I bought games for... I'm trying to think of the last one I bought for $70 that I genuinely... I can't even think of the last game I did buy for $70. Maybe Crash 4? No, Crash 4 was $60, I think. I don't even know. I don't even know the last game I paid $70 for. I almost always wait now. And Remake wasn't $70. I'm sure Rebirth will. I'm sure I'll buy Rebirth for $70. Well, I bought the collector's edition, so I guess that doesn't matter. But if I had bought Rebirth for $70, I'm sure that would have been worth the money. But yeah, shoot, I don't even know. I don't even know what game I bought recently for $70. $16, yeah. There you go. That's an example. I bought 16. for 70, and I got 70 out of it for sure. And I mean, 70 is not a super content rich game either, but I just, you know, it was a pretty long game. Even just playing through the story, I got a good 60. I think, did we get 60 hours out of the story? I think I took my time, but still, yeah. I mean, I hate to compare it. I hate to compare it to other media, because people do that all the time, and it's kind of just not the same. But like, you buy a movie, you buy 1 or 2 movies for $70, you know, and you're getting an hour or 2 out of that versus getting 60 hours of much more, you know, involved, much more of an involved experience with music, gameplay, and video. Like, it's not too crazy to say, but yeah, like I said, it's hard to compare because art is different. But like, because movies cost a lot to make. But you know, looking at it from an outside perspective, not someone that's been in the gaming industry since almost the beginning and seen how games have grown and seen how much passion PS1, PS2, N64, Super Nintendo developers put into their games. But just as an outside perspective, like if I asked my mom what she thought about $70 video games, she'd probably say something to the effect of like, well, you get 50 hours out of that versus buying a movie or buying a board game or something. Like, you know, it's about equivalent. That's fair. That's like a fair argument to make. But yeah, it's, the struggle comes from what we used to have and what we have now. That's the struggle. We used to get a physical game that had all the content in it for 60, and now we get half of a game that's online only and consistently tries to scam us into spending more for 70, you know. And half the time we don't even get a physical game. Half the time we get a download that they could take away from us at any time, you know. The problem is the comparison, and a lot of us have been in the industry for a while. And I would imagine that a lot of kids probably don't have the same feeling. I have a feeling that the generation below us is probably like just used to paying $70 for games and doesn't even give it really a second thought because they didn't grow up with earlier games, right? And they look at it now, like if I were to tell my son who plays Super Mario 64 that Super Mario 64 is the same price as God of War, he'd probably be like, yeah, you get about the same amount of experience out of both, right? Like, you know, I would imagine he would kind of like, other than the fact that God of War is a newer game that looks better, but it probably wouldn't, he'd probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was mind. I'm afraid the ship has already sailed, friend. I'm back. I killed everything. I'm the best. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sestasha? Yep, I killed everything. I'm the best. It would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbor. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. That's a sick trident. Kind of looks like a candle. Looks like a candelabra. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as to earn a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. See you, Markfu. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, milady. Thank you, random adventurer, for giving me that giant monologue. My weapon of choice is the candle. Back then, are ye? With all your limbs and a tale to tell, I'll wager. Fishbacks? And there I was thinking ye'd only have a crack a pirate skull or 3. 7 hells, ye turn your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastards have set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning. Unless they are planning on feeding themselves to the Fano Sestasha, of course. Any road, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank ye for shedding some light on this mystery. You've lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for more than that. Now, I'll bet you're dying for a rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking another job? It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the forest folk will need of a venture of what can get things done. For them to ask for your help like this, ye can bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade. But after the way ye dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything ye can't handle. Give us a shot when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for ye. How's it going, Globe? Yeah, and then there's the question of, you know, all the big companies are trying to get us into game passes now because that's the best way for them to make money. So a lot of times, I feel like games are released at $70 because they're trying to get us to be like, well, that's too expensive, guess I'll get Game Pass. You know? I don't think that's too much of a stretch. I honestly think that's genuinely how they think. Because internally, they really try to push Game Pass a lot. Because it helps them a ton. They make so much money off of Game Pass and PS Plus and Nintendo Online. That's their big money maker. Seraphic, thank you for the gifted sub to Globe. Appreciate it. So, and that's the difference, you know? If a game is $70 because it's worth $70, or is a game $70 because they're trying to get us to buy something else, or trying to get us to FOMO, or, you know, all these other things, or they're trying to get us to pay to reload, like, you know, there's the thought process behind it is what matters. Because in the grand scheme of things, paying $10 extra for a video game probably just means you might wait a little longer to buy the next one. It's not gonna break the bank, but it's more of the thought process behind it and how it's changing the industry. And what the future of the industry is gonna be, that's what's important. Not necessarily the $10, but what it means for everything else. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. It's stable revenue stream. They don't have to make physical boxes. They don't have to... There's so many different, like, things that it helps them with. There's a reason that when Game Pass even started to get a little bit of traction, all the companies jumped in. And not just Sony and Nintendo, but freaking Ubisoft and EA, and they all made one. Because it's straight money for them. It's huge money for them. And there's a reason why, like, they give out free games, and they give out retro games, and, like, PS Plus tried their hardest to make the PlayStation Pass as interesting as possible, because they really want everyone on board. Ready to hear about that job, then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know, but whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any threat, any trouble for a venturer who has survived in the Bedlam and Sestasha. If you think you might be interested, you'll want to have words with Mother Mione. I think... Well, I guess we gotta take a ship anyways. we'll just teleport. Screw it. I'm actually starting to make good money, so... I think also, the increase of prices in games has really made me think differently about games like this, service games. I think service games got a lot more alluring, because playing regular games means either spending $70 or buying a pass, which is basically a service. Before, it was like, why do I want to pay $15 a month when I can just pay $60 and have the game forever and play it forever? But now it's like, do I want to pay $40 for a bunch of games I'm only going to play one anyways, or do I pay $15 a month for this game, you know, and I don't even have to pay the opening price of $70 before I get the battle pass and everything? Like, to put it in perspective, like, do you know how much money it costs to play Destiny? Like Destiny 2, I think now it's free to play, but when it came out, it wasn't. You were paying like full price for the game, and then you had to keep buying DLC and passes and all this crap. Like, you were looking at hundreds of dollars of investment. And like, this game, you just plop in and you're good till 7. You don't even have to pay till 70. But before they did the free-to-play thing, like, you're just paying monthly and you start off without having to pay a base amount. And so many games nowadays get away with a base amount and a continual cost, which is just insane to me. Like, I can't do that. I cannot pay a base amount and then pay a monthly amount. I just feel like I'm getting screwed. Like, I just feel like I don't want to play the game. I'm like, this is just insane. Like, and I'm okay paying money for a good game. Like, I have no problem spending $70 or $100 for a game if I'm going to get that much out of it, but I just feel like I'm being taken advantage of when I pay for a game and the first thing the game wants me to do is set up a monthly subscription. Like, no. I want to get my money out of what I paid first. Then I'll pay, then maybe I'll do DLC or whatever, but like, there's too many games now that you pay to get the game installed, and then to get the real experience, you need to start paying monthly right away. Like, more and more companies are double dipping, and that's just insane to me. Like, that's the one thing I can't really get behind at all. I'm okay with monthly subscriptions. I'm okay with battle passes when they're done correctly. I'm okay with storefronts when they're done correctly. I'm okay paying $70 for a game. But the double dipping has to stop. Like, I don't think it's good for the industry at all. People are just going to lose their minds. People are just going to play that one game and then buy nothing else, and then the industry is going to struggle. Because if you've paid $300 for everything to play Destiny 2, how can you possibly play anything else? Like, when you've put so much money into a single game, how can you know, play something that you feel like you're just losing your money if you're not constantly playing that game that you put so much money into?
Power surge.
I just feel like it's not good for the industry. Even if you are willing to spend that much, I just don't think it's good for the industry. How's it going now? Enialios? Welcome, good to see you. Subs, thank you very much for the raid. Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I know you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but hope you had a good time anyways. Salmon, thank you for the tier 2 27. Thank you very much for the tier 2, man. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you. I put over 1,000 hours into Diablo 2 and I still feel like I wasted money. Yeah. I feel like I felt that way about games before too. Take a seat wherever you like, friends. Our waitress will come and take your... Oh, not here to dine. Dare I hope that you're the adventurer better on sent up a word about. You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mione. And the Carline Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there's a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall read. Easiest. Easiest quest of my life. Okay, so... Hold on. Hold the phone. Let's see if I can... Okay, so I like this. I wanted to see if I could change the gloves. So... What if I do this? And then this? And then put these back on. There we go, that worked. Yeah, that worked. So I didn't have to spend a thing. Pro video gamer. Yeah, it's gotten to the point now where like supporting companies is hard, and that's not what you want. Like as the gaming industry goes, you want to have people be able to like support companies they want to support. Like I said, you can't do that when you're stuck in one game. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people only play one game, and that's fine. But I feel like the industry is pushing more people to play only one game, and I think that's bad. You know what I mean? Like, if you just want to play Destiny 2, that's fine. If you just want to play Final Fantasy XIV, that's fine. But the general industry pushing more people towards service games and only one service game is bad for the general industry. More people only playing one game is going to hurt all the companies in the long run. In the long run, we're going to have less money flowing in the industry, less indie games being able to be sold, less everything. You know, it's just going to be bad for everyone. We need more games that are just a $70 experience that's worth $70, like God of War or Final Fantasy XVI or Elden Ring or, you know, etc. Because that part of the industry still needs to thrive, or else the service side will also struggle. Because the people making the service games are the same people making those games. So if those games struggle, it means that the service games also struggle. It means Square Enix has less money to put into Final Fantasy XIV if all of their single-player endeavors fail. For every Forspoken that we get, 14 gets less money invested into it. It's all the same pockets, you know? So for every Forspoken that happens, 14 struggles. And not in a very noticeable way, not yet, but over time. It's not like when Forspoken failed, 14 literally took a damage, but you know what I mean? Over time, if they continue to have these problems, or Forsaken? Forspoken? I don't even remember the name of the game. That's how bad it was. I didn't even buy it. I played the demo. Thank God they made a demo. For Broken, yeah. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's bad for the Oh, okay. You're just memeing me. But yeah, it's bad for the whole industry. So I really hope, and we're not at the point yet where it's that bad, but I worry about the future. But with all the bad press that a lot of these service games are getting, like Destiny 2, I'm not too worried yet. Because Destiny 2 has been a complete disaster. I think I think even people that play Destiny 2 are like, yeah, I'm never playing another service game after this. Because it's been such a disaster. But there's a lot of people that enjoy Destiny 2, but most of the public discourse is players complaining and being upset with the final product. Which just sucks, man. It sucks so hard. I feel so bad. No, not bad timing. I'm not laughing at them. I feel bad for them. Because I can understand being that invested in a game. I can understand loving the core mechanics of a game and wanting to be a part of it. And then when the new DLC comes in, it's like, well, I want to keep being a part of it. And you keep buying it, and you keep buying it, and you want to be part of the community, and then just at the very end being thrown off a cliff. Like, yeah, we're done supporting it. You know, we're going to keep releasing this DLC, but it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and you end up getting stuck in sunk cost fallacy, and by the end of it, you're like, none of this was worth it, you know? You look back on how much you've spent, and you're like, this isn't, you know, I was promised more. It just feels bad, and it sucks because they love the game, and they're so invested in it, and it sucks to see that happen. I feel the same exact way with zombies. I didn't buy the new zombies. I finally said enough is enough, you know, but I was so invested in it for so long. I kept buying the new games even if they were bad because I wanted to support it and I wanted to be a part of it whether or not it was good or bad. And so, like, you know, I feel it. It sucks. And it's not your fault. You're promised a better experience. You're promised these things, and so you buy into it, and then they say, well, we got your money, now we can release whatever it is we want to release. We're not, you know, they're not really held up to any standard. They've already been paid. How's it going, next? Yeah. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mjorn, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward? Good evening to you, Bowlord. Wait, his name's Bowlord? Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with the visit. The good news is your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. The legendary Petra oh my god, he actually has a bow. My thanks for answering the call, friend. His name is Lewin. She just called him Bowlord. Okay, well, he's literally Robin Hood, but okay. And I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tam Tara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gelmorian settlement, but we Gridarians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been skulking around the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that the individuals, along with the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelves Wood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? So what you're saying is the same exact thing the last guy said. There's a problem and my forces are thin. Help. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance, who will apprise you of the latest developments. That is all. Well, you're in the right place, Nex. That's what we're all about here. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. You are in the right place. You're among friends. We all about them classic Final Fantasies. I do like that the quests are mostly just go fight some enemies now. Don't loop me in. I only play Tetris. I don't know. Tetris and Final Fantasy both have blocks. Basically the same games. Where's the music? I know it's nighttime, but... Don't you mean cubes? Final Fantasy prefers orbs. We're all about orbs around here. What's going on over there? Speaking of orbs. I should have taken out the spiders first. Check out my new ability, I forgot to look at that. You messed up now, I'm not level synced anymore. Feint. Lowers target's physical damage dealt by 10% and magic damage dealt by 5%. Nice. A debuff. Let's see. Let's put it... here. Actually... No! No! What have I done? There. Jump, Petra. I think our rooster just tried to fight one of the wild turkeys outside my window. Do you think the roosters are upset because of Thanksgiving? It's the day after Thanksgiving. Don't mess with the turkeys. They're not in the mood. What is that? Giant scorpion? look, it's that party that talked to us before. Oh, I see bonies. I'm here to kill bonies. Protecting this here tomb. Where do I actually go in here? You're Petra Snakeboat, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deep Croft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the call emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th Astral Era. The cultists took the Lesser Moon, Dalamud, for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deep Croft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. Petra the Slaughterer. Petra Snakeboat. God Killer. Get to do another one.